I'm glad you're here. Welcome back, LanceScurvX. I wanted to speak about something briefly that I had an exchange with a dear friend of mine, and it's basically a relationship question. Not really a question. I had my own take on it. And basically, it was about a friend of hers who was married 3 times. And of course, I'm not going to mention any names. We keep all this information anonymous, but there are a lot of people that we know that were married 3 times. And my friend said, after the 3rd time, you're going to have to start wondering about yourself. Even if the exes were evil, you can dub them as evil, but you chose them. You said, I do. You got married to them. So you have to start looking at yourself and your lack of discernment. And in my deepest thoughts, I agreed. But I wanted to explain it away a little more because we take more time buying a new car than we do before we get involved with someone to say that we're committed to them. And I use the analogy of when you go to the supermarket without a shopping list and you're hungry. You pick up all different types of food, different things that you don't even need because you're hungry, because of the state of mind that you're in when you go to that supermarket. And when you have a list, a checklist of what you need, what you don't need, and you're not hungry when you go into the supermarket, you get exactly what you need. And if you want to say you wanted a few things, you can get a few of those too, but you have a level head. And I went on to think more about it, that what's the state of mind that you're in when you get with somebody? And you get a little older and you may be with that person and the relationship doesn't seem to go the way that you thought it would go because you weren't in the right state of mind. You possibly matured more and look back at yourself the several years before that you were and the way that you thought, your thought processes, and how hungry you were, just like the person who went to the supermarket to go shopping without a list, and they were hungry. They didn't eat all day. They may end up getting 3 different brands of ketchup. You know what I mean? Like things they don't need. Oh, this is a new brand, but they get this. No. Our minds are even more messed up now because of social media. Other people's highlight reels. Other people's perfect relationships that we see. And a lot of us will fill in the blanks when we meet somebody. The red flags pop up. We ignore them. We see the gaps of things that we really won't tolerate, but then we say to ourselves, well, this feeling, love will conquer all. And most of the time, it doesn't. That's why so many of us who have gotten married are divorced. And most people don't even know their own shopping list. They don't know the checklist of what is necessary in their relationship, what they won't tolerate. And yes, like buying a used car, there are a couple of scratches and dings that you may say, okay, I can take this to the body shop and get this refinished in a paint job that makes it look brand new. There are things you will tolerate. But some of us don't know ourselves enough to understand what we will tolerate and what we won't. And then when the foot hits the road, boots on the ground, the honeymoon phase is over. And you're looking at this person who you thought was a certain way, but they weren't. They didn't lie to you, but your thoughts, you filling in the blanks of the gaps of questions that you should have had answered, will come back to haunt you. And so many people I know have gotten to that point. You could have been lonely and merely needed companionship. But your loneliness didn't feel right to you. It was so traumatic to you. Maybe you have a fear of being alone or lonely, which those are two different things. And it made you lower your standards. Some people get to a certain age, if they don't have a man, there are some women who, and I'm saying women, because it's mostly them who will say this, I'm getting up in years and I don't have anybody. And all my girlfriends, they have relationships and I don't have one. Well, it's an exchange in a relationship. It's not a thing like you can go and buy a dress and hang it up on the shelf. You're just choosing somebody because you're lonely or the people around you have a man, right? That's sick because their highlight reel may look good to you on social media or when they're around you, but he could be going upside her head, abusing her physically, mentally, emotionally. And they put on a show when they're around you, but you think everything's all right. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that stop looking at what's around you and believing the performance that these people are putting on, and you go within yourself and say, oh, this is what I need. No. This is why I suggest people need to think from the inside out. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I'm going to do what I need to do and no more. That's how you preserve yourself. I'm not looking sideways, trying to see what everybody else is doing. So I'm going to do this because they are doing that. If it's someone who I highly respect, they can teach me something. But even if a person teaches me something, I have to filter it through my own experiences and what I already know. And I have to weigh it out. And what they teach me, maybe I can take a part of it if it's something that can help me get to the next level. But we're driven by all types of weird demons, I'll say. And we find ourselves in situations with other people who we don't really know. Our minds fill in the blanks. We have no discernment. We haven't checked with ourselves what it is that we feel we need. And first you have to admit that. We all need love. It's like if we don't get it, it's like a flower that doesn't get sun. But you can't be so hungry for this intangible thing because love is like currency. If I told you that I had 5 18-wheelers filled up in the back, big truck with cash up to the ceiling, packed, you're like, I'm rich now. But if you go and pull open the truck and it's Japanese yen, sure, you can convert the money, but it means nothing to you because you can't go down and go shopping right now. You can't buy anything right now because the currency doesn't match where you are. You see? So a lot of times we don't check to see if we're compatible, just like the currency, just like the money. And to know if you're compatible, guess what? You've got to know yourself. And I think there are too many people out here who feel that the next person is going to fill in their blanks of the work that they need to do for themselves. It doesn't work that way. Well, they didn't make me happy. You should have already been happy within yourself. You should have already been happy within your own company. That if nobody came around, you're good. Yes, we need love. We need the real exchange. But a lot of times, because we're so starved, we settle for the thing that's not authentic. It looks like the real thing, but it's not the real thing. And people will try to use you for what they want out of you. And you have people who can assess you so well and see what you're hungry for or what you're looking for and shapeshift into looking like the very thing that you want because they figured you out. And now they can get anything from you because you appear to be the perfect mate, the ideal perfect person, the knight in shining armor. And this also goes for women also. And I've said this before. Many men will profess love to you. Darling, I love you so much. Well, they're saying that lots of times because they want sex. May I say it, and excuse me for being so lewd, they might say that because you give them good head. It's all kind of reasons. They may say that because they know they're about to get evicted out of their apartment and they want a place to live. I'm not saying every man is like that. But what's your real motivation? Huh? Why are people rushing things? Why can't you take time? If it's going to be there, it's going to be there. But number one, you have to do the work on yourself. And you have to ask a lot of questions of yourself. You have to know yourself. If you have a small amount of money in your banking account, your checking account, in your pocket, you can't go out and buy expensive gifts because you can't afford it at that time. Well, if you're hurting from a prior relationship, how are you going to jump into something else just to douse the flames of that pain that you went through? You're already starting out bad because it's reactionary. Rebound. If you did the work on yourself and healed yourself, you'd be better off. There's so many ways I can go with this conversation. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that particular topic. And I see I'm going to have to come back and do a whole lot more because a lot of us, we're not aware of where our blip is on the radar screen. The decisions you make today, say you're 22 years old, you see the world a certain way. You're influenced a certain way. You get to 32. Hopefully, it's a lot different. Your vantage point has changed. Your perspective has evolved. You get to 40, 50 years old, and sometimes we look back on our life and say, oh my God, what was I thinking when I got involved with that person? And you produce children out of these unions. And it reminds you of the state of mind that you were in. It doesn't mean you have to wait so many decades, but there should be a sensible checklist from within. You should have elders that are wise to consult with. Like I said, we take more time purchasing a vehicle than we do with letting someone in our life that we're not ready for or is not good for us. It should be where you both go down the list and see what it's all about. But we dive in because the person looks good, or the person has this nice big house and they have all of this money, or they're sexing you good, whatever. It could be they remind you of some, I don't know. A lot of us have some crazy reasons why we get involved with people. But they'll never admit it. But it's evident when you're hitting divorce court. It's evident when you're breaking up. All that stuff comes. It's like Dannon yogurt back in the day. Those yogurts that had the fruit flavoring in the bottom and this yogurt on top. And you stir up, right? But the package said what flavor it is. See, people don't come that way. You don't know what's in the bottom of their heart that circumstances have to stir up, right? The struggles of life will stir up. You find out a person is not good with money. You're saving money. You're supposed to have a goal together, but they're out gambling, drinking, running with other people, spending money. What's that? You thought you knew them, but you were with them for 3 or 4 years before you found out that they had a crack habit. Huh? You were with them for so many years and have children. And you as a woman, you find out that your man is bending over more than you ever did with him. He's with another dude. Crazy world. And I will say you have to make sure and be certain, because the thing called the smartphone, they can be laying up next to you. Communicate with the phone in their hand. So now it's not so hard to be stimulated by all types of stuff out here. I'm beginning to ramble and rant. Let me know what you think. This is going to be short. Know that we're going to start doing our call-in shows. Kick back with your phone and we all talk. I got the number. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to show you in a little while. But anyway, let me know what kind of topic you want to think about. Or really think about it. I thought about it already. I think so much. I mean, let me know what you want to talk about. Because this head here is kind of big. There's a lot of gigabytes and terabytes in there. It's a lot that I think about and want to talk about, but it's just not enough time in the day. So anyway, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your support and sharing the links and all that good stuff. And I feel so good because I'm fresh out the shower. I'm about to go upstairs and get something to eat. And I'll be back. Much love to you all. On to the next one. Peace. LanceScurv out. Mwah.